And recording. Okay, recording is on. Take it away, Ryan.
Oh, all right. So today is the MicroProfile marketing meeting. It's November 9th. And what do we got on the list today? Looks like we're going to be starting off with I reviewed the repo tickets and I didn't see anything new, but we can go through it if we feel this is best. So a lot of committer quotes have been coming in that we discussed to start adding to the working group page, I believe. I don't know if there is a target amount that we're shooting for before, but or just add them as they come.
Right. So how many do we want to get for the?
Well, I mean, for committer quotes, I guess any committer that wants to give a quote, pretty much we just keep adding them. So I'll just have to figure out a way for the working group page, or we can add it in multiple spots, honestly, throughout the website if we find it useful, that it's just scalable. So maybe I'll do it, maybe we'll set up in a little bit different way where we can do it through GitHub and it will randomly distribute the quotes through the page automatically, and it can update, I guess, this way also. We did something, we helped Jakarta EE with something like this for quotes. So we kind of have it already built. It'll just have to be kind of coded for WordPress. Is that something you think would be useful? I can give an update in the next meeting of technically how to do it and what it will take, if that helps.
So is this going to be a new link on the MicroProfile.io website?
This will be found in the last meeting we discussed, because let me pull up the working group page, the rough page. Where are you? There we are. And I gotta put the password in. Oh, never mind. I'm already logged into it. So here, it started off with the, what would we say, what would the equivalent of these groups be? The working group charter, or the working group, at least like 6 or 5 companies? Is there, what's the title for it? And it's not committers, but
corporate members.
Corporate members, yeah. So there's 5 quotes from each one, and then we were talking about having quotes from committers themselves, obviously in a different section farther down.
Ooh, actually, corporate members is not the right, because we have AJUG, which isn't. Well, no, they are a corporate member.
And AJUG's in there in that quote.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Angela. Okay, no, so corporate member is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this means, I'm sorry, this means that what happens when we get a committer member quote? Whoever that might be.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you mean just the committer quotes, or?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, committer member, right, is someone that can. It's a person or people. For now, it's one that can vote on.
Oh yeah.
You know, charter and stuff like that, right? They're a voting member of the steering committee. Committers are not. So there's a distinction there, and we would want to get a quote from the committer member, in which case, what we would probably say here are, steering committee members.
Yeah. The other thing is, John, because the elected committers, so they serve for 1 year, right? So like each year, we will have a new committer. So presumably this list is also kind of, can grow. And then for the committers, and then they can, when they when we elect one, and then when their quote add on, and then with a duration,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can add more people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, you know, a question to ask is, do we have to separate the steering committee members from the committers, or can they all just be a part of the same, you know, scrolling group?
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't think I have the background on it to really say yes or no. But for now, until more comes, we can keep them separate and then merge it another time if people feel it's something we can go with. I just don't want to hold up getting this page live.
Right.
Yeah, because I think we have a lot more to go through other than the quotes. We have, well, let's finish this real quick. No, nothing new for tickets. So if we go here in the last meeting around the ticket for this page, I made a doc, and it's pretty much so we can look at the content that's been suggested for this page and see how we can improve it and what we can add. So anyone can edit this or put, you know, comments to it.
Okay.
I even found a couple random like working group websites or pages for open source, as like this one here. It's just an example of, I mean, we can do something much more pleasant, but I like that they gave like overview of the working, you know, of the working group, a vision, goals, some information, not just links driving them everywhere.
Right.
I think this is a nice, at least intro and overview that's on the actual page instead of taking them to different docs and documents. And then on the side, which we can do differently, or we can have a side column, it would be more of the dive deeper, you know, information that takes you to different documentation and whatnot. Does that make
This is
sense?
more structured. This is kind of more layered. So what we have here is a kind of looks like is a linear,
Mm-hmm.
but what you demonstrate is kind of organized in multiple
Yeah,
layers.
to organize it and give more of an overview and more information for the person coming to the page first.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't have to be long. You know, this is quite short just here, but then because right now we have so far. Sorry, here we are. It's like sections of like general and then bunch of different links. You know, from the agreement and different things, and then we have budgets, and then it goes to the working group budget, something, and marketing budget, knowledge, more information and links taking them places, subscription branding, which is all fine if we have these sections and all we want is links going to the content. It works. I even set it up in kind of a way that it can work easily with links and still keep it all quite close. It's a lot of it's filler text and just copy pasting from what we have so far. But I think it'd be nice to have some content on the page, introducing it and explaining more.
Yeah, I agree. I think at least the mission and overview are very important.
I think a lot of that content, Emily, is probably already in the working group charter.
Well, yeah, in that case, just copy and paste.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't read the charter, sadly.
Oh.
Just pull it up very briefly.
I just had a baby. I'll use that as an excuse.
Yeah, just pull it up very briefly. We don't have to word massage or anything. I just, you know, you can just kind of see the, right? So
so vision and scope.
The governance is a lot of that, you know, vision and scope, a lot of that might be that specific thing, right? And the principles might be on that top page. The governance and precedence stuff a little bit further below, those are the links that you were talking about that might be on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
The membership we've already, technically gotten with the logo, with the list of logos.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we have to get in the membership necessarily and all of that, except links off to, like if you go to the Jakarta EE page, working group charter, you don't have to do it necessarily. It says basically about Jakarta EE, join the working group. We could have a couple of links like that instead of, this word salad that, that we have here. So, but I like, can you scroll up to the top? Yeah, so we can figure out how to word massage this to be more web pages as opposed in simplified, as opposed like that top paragraph, as opposed to a more detailed thing that we have here.
Because we have that, they would just go to the charter for it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's too many words, probably to, except maybe the bullets in the table. Even then we might be able, yeah, even those we might be able to simplify if we, put a little bit more thought into it. And with those two things right there, we can, I think.
You mean just this?
Yeah, the two things I mean are the paragraph, the overview, and then the principles are the two sections I'm thinking of. And those might make something decent to have on like the top level page.
Okay.
It's yeah, I'm just thinking what they also have on the Jakarta page. Okay, maybe now is a good time to, if you want to pull up just jakarta.ee. And I just took a quick glance at another one. It's a very similar, I think, kind of format. Right, there's the about, which is kind of the top level page that we talked about, but they also have a link to specifications and how to join. I think having, the specifications there in the middle, the problem with that left-hand menu I saw on the other one is there's a lot there, and we'd have to figure out like, what do we want to focus on, right? Yes, having all that's okay, but like on the main section area, like what's the call to action?
Yeah.
Right out of that page. And I didn't necessarily see that in the other format. Here, obviously, there's lots of calls to actions if you think about it. There isn't like a specific one, but we should think about narrowing it down to like calls to action or top level things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we want people to do mainly?
Yeah, like join us is good. Point off to the other things I could see interesting. We'd have to think about how to do this. The calendar, and the Google group, right? I could see like those things being, it's like maybe instead of join us, it's get involved, right? And the get involved would have, a link to the calendar maybe, and a link to the specifications and the Google group or something like that. I could see that, right? And then we could have a broader discussion about that.
And also give us a place to store the meeting minutes. At the moment, that like meeting minutes in the Google, and then Google Drive here is kind of quite easy to be figured out. By the way, I put a link to the chat to the chat. So Ryan, if you click on that link, so basically it's this is a working group. If you go to MicroProfile, if you go so here that paragraph. So maybe we can massage that. No, that.
Yeah, I got
that. So that's top paragraph.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Put in the doc.
And then I also clicked on, what was it? The Cloud Dev Tools on that page, the Explore Working Groups page that you were just on. Yeah. Scroll up. And then one more. Yeah, Eclipse Cloud Dev Tools. I just clicked on that. Click on the, is that, yeah, there you go. Right, and you can see that this is part of a template, right?
Mhm.
But the
Yeah.
template isn't, the look and feel is the same, but the content isn't, right? So you can see that they kind of have calls to action here, right? Become a member, join our mailing list, contribute to our projects.
Yeah.
And so like ours would be, join the mailing list as a Google group, become a member is, I don't know, we'd have to click on that and find out, and contribute to our projects might be a link off to our projects.
Right. So that would be going to become a member is a kind of contributor. We have somewhere to tell them how to contribute to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry, so it's like the three top we were thinking is become a member just like this, join the mailing list.
It's funny because I only glanced at this briefly, and when I brought up those ideas, it wasn't with these in mind. But now that we pull this up, it's like all of a sudden what I was thinking of kind of matches to what they have here.
That's good.
With one difference actually is the calendar, right? And so we'd have to think about how to phrase that or fit that into this. I mean, how many buttons do we really want at the top, right?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, we don't have to solve it today, but I can get at least put 4 there, and then maybe we realize one call to action can move farther down in a different section. So,
right.
So it's not so bad. Okay, so some more call to actions. We'll start with that paragraph that I copied from, I believe, I forget which page, but it's in our doc now. Then, do you feel the quotes should be at the end after all the information, or should be somewhere in the middle, that the quotes we have now? Because it is prime real estate before. I would say get the intro paragraph before it.
Right.
Maybe quotes. You got these call to actions on the top card. And then we still have to decide what other information. Do we want a left or right table with these drop down links and menus, or do we want to stick with where did it go? Let me pull up that page again. Or do we want to stick with something or like the tabs we have so far? Something like this.
I like that a lot better.
Okay. So we
I think it looks better. Yeah, and we don't have to shove like every link, in the world that we want to have along the left-hand menu. I like the way that you've kind of organized this.
Okay.
It's aesthetically pleasing, and I think it's organized. How do I say this? It makes the page look less busy compared to the left-hand menu.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's a little more clean and organized, I feel.
Yeah.
So the other So the other thing is are we going to add another another tile to say the meetings? Basically, it's the one link to the agenda, the other link to the minutes.
There was one somewhere in here that was access. I thought it was in here somewhere, but yeah, we can definitely do meeting minutes on another tab or another.
Yeah, and also point to the calendar as well.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Emily.
Meeting minutes and calendar.
Yeah. Maybe that's where we put the calendar. Maybe it's meetings or something like that. Because
and I could put a calendar as the icon, so that would help maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
The other thing is, can you go back to the kind of the paragraph you copied?
Sorry. Along with that, do you remember if you go to the live Hangout meeting minutes, at the very top, every spec has its own not the marketing minutes, the actual live hangout. I think there's a link along, isn't there a link along the top there? Source of truth, maybe not.
Not sure what you mean.
Yeah, but if you go to the,
I mean, find a link and post on the.
yeah,
Okay,
at the very top, we have every component spec has where they chat and have meeting minutes, and like a Zoom ID or a Google Hangout ID or Google, Hangout ID or Google Media or whatever, right? It would be interesting to see if that could be under the meetings. You know, will that be too busy and too much information? I don't know, but we have the live Hangout, and then I could see underneath that. You know how on the MicroProfile IO page we have that square with all the specs. If you highlight over it, I think it have something like that for every spec meeting, right? That kind of block look, and then as you highlight over a meeting, it'll say, okay, you know, here's the meeting minutes, here's the meeting dial-in, and here's the calendar entry. You know what I mean? So as they highlight, they can go join any one of those. It's just an idea.
Yeah, the other thing is, John, because the MicroProfile calendar captured all of the meeting details. And I think is all the entries will have the joining in details and also the minutes. If they don't, and then we can reinforce that way. So once they get a calendar, they have everything.
So they just need to accept that calendar for that meeting.
Yeah, the calendar has all the MicroProfile spec meetings, and then in all the entries that contain all the as far as I know, like a config for tolerance, it's kind of all the details there.
Yeah, the thing I do want to avoid is having like duplicating information.
Yeah,
and you kind of brought it up in my mind when you were bringing that up, Emily. So I'm trying to find the calendar. All right, here's the MicroProfile calendar. Okay, I'll paste it in the chat, and let's pull it up real quick. Once I paste it in the chat, there we go. What happens if we pick one of these calendar entries? Yeah, it includes the doc, a description, the blue jeans. All right, so what we could do, let's see more details.
We clean it up. So basically, is make sure they're all properly maintained, up to date.
Yeah.
And in this way, you know, John, it's if like for example, config meeting is canceled, like because we have finished everything, we directly delete the entry. So in this case, like only this calendar is live, so we actively maintain one.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah, all the info is there, but the problem is there's not like a landing page that we could point people to. You know what I mean? Like what you did is you clicked on it, right?
Where I can just, when they click this calendar pops up in there.
Right. Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
So then they can just look that, you know, you open up the calendar on that tab, this is sitting there, and they can just click through it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see what I can do for that. I don't know if it's possible, but I mean, it seems like it should be. I just opened it now, you know. Okay, I'll look into that. Then we don't need to add, you know, the spec meeting, then the Zoom, then the calendar date, then the meeting notes.
Right.
They'll all just be there, and they can just click around to see what they want to join.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, this is going to have to be the source of truth.
Yeah, and then we reinforce this is actively maintained.
Sorry, just taking notes. Okay.
Okay, so back to what I mentioned about quoted that paragraph. So I just want to clarify one thing with John. So John is now we have set up this MicroProfile working group. We are a standard body, right? So we can define the specs.
Well, are we into standards body? I don't want to get into that discussion. we create specs. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, so I'm thinking just remove the last sentence and collaborating on common base areas of interest with the goal of standardization, because we are not going to push a MicroProfile anywhere else. We are
That's a good point. That's a good point. We should revisit that after the working group is formed. But that is a good point. Well, with the goal,
maybe just maybe to move forward, in this quote, just remove the of interest with the goal of standardization. All the kind of previous one all correct.
Well, I would say actually collaborating on common areas of interest and get rid of with a goal of standardization.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's better. Thank you.
No, I think this is a good point that we're going to have to go back and revisit this paragraph.
Yeah.
So for now, I'll just use it as it is, and then we can adjust it.
For now, remove, as John said, remove with the goal of standardization.
Yeah, let's leave that out for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, with the goal. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's not go there. So that looks good.
Okay. So let me just recap on this. We're going to add this section into the top part. We're going to put those call to actions, which would be, well, if we have the calendar already down below.
Actually, I apologize for interrupting. What do we think about getting rid of that first sentence? Again, this is like the very title. So I'm trying to keep, at the very top where you don't want to have like this long paragraph of text. What if we just say, MicroProfile is an open form that optimizes blah, 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 right? So it's just a second sentence.
Yeah, I think that's good, because we know, we emphasize the working group. We emphasize what we are trying to do. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it is the working group page. So are you sure you want to cut out the wording that talks about the working group?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's try and leave it. Okay, so let's try this. Let's leave it in. Let's see what it looks like. If it's too long, get some additional feedback.
Sounds good.
Okay. I'm fine.
Well, since we're adding the calendar below, hopefully, into one of the tabs, do you feel this tab should be maybe more at the top of that tab section?
Which tab?
The calendar.
Oh,
meeting.
Nah. I think having it a little bit further down is okay.
Okay.
So if I understand the tab order, we have the banner, then we had what after the banner?
Then it was going to be the top banner, then this description.
Right.
And then the question is, do we go straight to the tab content and put the quotes below, or have the quotes, then the tab section? I
like the idea of having the quotes first, but
that's fine with me.
We can get additional feedback too. But I kind of like the idea of having the quotes.
Can we put the quote on the top banner?
They're pretty large.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it was like quotes that were 2 sentences, yeah, that would be, we can maybe squeeze something in a nice way, but these are like paragraphs.
Okay.
So, then the call to actions to the top will be like become a member, join the mailing list, Google group.
Or is that good question? Out of curiosity, Emily, how do you consume Google group content? Do you do it via mail or via the web interface?
I use the web interface. For mail, unless someone directly commented it, and that will go to my email. Otherwise,
yeah, I'm fairly similar. So join the forum. How about we say that?
So there's a mailing list and the forum, or just join the forum?
Join the forum. Let's try that, and I'll get beat up over that probably. But I'm okay with that. Some
Join the
might want to say
forum.
mailing list. Some might want to say Google group.
Well, so it's become a member, join the forum, and that's it so far?
Or what do we? I'm sorry, Brian. It is throwing out ideas here
That's
at
fine.
me.
That's how it works.
Creating ideas. What if we just say discuss, right? So we don't necessarily join the discussion. Join discussion.
Join the, it's in the MicroProfile.io. It says, what it says, join the, join the discussion.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Let's try that.
So become a member, join the discussion. Those are the two top calling.
Yeah. And somewhere, maybe it's that list of, the palette of, I'm sorry, what do we call that? The tabs. Somewhere in there, we're going to have the MicroProfile working group mailing list. I don't know if you have that in there anywhere yet, but
let me look. Hold on.
we're going to have to add that. And that's partially going to be the question. I think I'd still rather have them go to the discussion forum as opposed to the working group mailing list.
Not seeing anything. Subscribe.
Okay.
Okay. So you want to add into the tab mailing list?
Yeah. So we have to differentiate between the two, right? So there's join the discussion, right?
Yep.
That we'll have at the top. Then here it would be, if I had to just off the top of my head wordsmith it, it would be let's see, join MicroProfile-WG mailing list for formalized decisions. I don't know. Somehow we have to simplify that and clarify it. The word, formal is, or something like it is important, right? That's where we kind of do formal business.
Mm-hmm. During the MP mailing list. Okay.
Yeah, MicroProfile working group. MicroProfile-WG, but yeah. So we'll have to come up with the right verbiage there.
Yeah, somehow we here subscribe. We need to list both, and then we need to add one sentence to describe, and then what the purpose. I mean, like the MicroProfile dash working group dash WG and versus the Google group.
You lost me there. Sorry.
So basically what I'm trying to say is the follow-up was with what John said. So we have two mailing lists. One is the Google group mailing list. The other one is the Eclipse Foundation created mailing list is a MicroProfile-WG. So somehow, I mean, we need a sentence or to say.
Describe what they're signing up for and why.
Yeah. Yes.
What I'm afraid of in my mind is that, like, as I'm thinking about this and throwing out these recommendations, like the top level thing is the Google group or the forum and not the MicroProfile working group mailing list. I feel like in some ways I'm like duplicating the top level page, right? Which is a
call to actions on the top.
Well, just in general, right? It's like we have the top level MicroProfile IO page, right? And this is specifically the working group page. And now in my mind, in hindsight, as I'm discussing all this stuff, it's like, well, am I just duplicating what's already there on the top level page?
It should just only be about the working group.
It should only be about the working group. That's the question, right?
Well, that's,
Well, yeah, it should be, right? But it's like if I'm, by pointing people to this page, right? This is the landing page. What are we trying to accomplish? Well, primarily, I think what we're trying to do is to get people to understand what it is and hopefully join, right?
Mhm.
The developers doing the day-to-day work would probably go to the top level page, right? So I guess, am I kind of conflating the intent of MicroProfile.io top level page with, for example, the calendars with all the specs and this,
Mhm.
right? Which really should be, I want to know how to join a working, what it is, how to join, what the benefits are.
Yep.
Like, do we have anything in here about what the benefits are?
No, that's the thing.
So
We
I got
have
caught.
like
Okay.
that reference I pulled up here. It's at least showing goals, vision, mission.
Right.
We could put benefits on our own kind of section, separating these sections with some, pretty much the goal is to sell them, I guess.
Yeah. Now let me throw another thing out there. Hold on, back this. Here we go. So I'm going to paste this link in the slides. I think everyone's got access to this. I think I finalized it. So this is the prospectus that we use to, theoretically say, come join the working group, right? It's a little bit more detailed than that, but so what I did was I took the Jakarta prospectus document and I just basically, I wasn't trying to be very creative here, and just stuck in microprofileisms as opposed to the Jakarta isms, right? So who we are, what a members say, what's the opportunity, right? So this is, in some ways the benefits, right? These are the key services that you get. Obviously, it's coming from the Eclipse Foundation in a lot of cases. This is the annual fee, right? And then, oh, sorry, I'm saying this thinking I'm sharing my screen, but I don't think I am.
You can share if you like.
Yeah, let me try that. Oops. Where do I have it? Okay, let me paste this in my other browser here. Okay. Okay, and where is my? Okay, sorry. Let me try something again. Let me see if I can get it to go away and come back up again. We click the share screen again. There we go. All right, so this presentation is all about the benefits, right? It's like, if I'm interested in MicroProfile and want to join, this is what's important, right? And again, I just replaced Jakarta content with MicroProfile content. So not a lot of plagiarism in terms of style, but the content is original. So who we are, oops, sorry, I went up. What our members say, that's the sliding thing, right? The opportunity. So this is, what is good for you, right? And then an open vendor neutral community is in there. Let's see, key services. Okay, so this is the Eclipse Foundation key services. I don't know if we need to have this. It's something to think about, but we could always just, in the links, link off to the Eclipse Foundation. And then we have the membership fees. And then how to join. So the how to join.
Membership fees should be on this page?
That's a good question. That might be somewhere in the tabs, okay. I think. But we have a good outline. Boy, after all that discussion, I just kind of realized that we were reinventing MicroProfile.io.
Yeah, I think it's we need to figure out what who will consume that web page. And
Yeah,
then
well, the intent of who we want to consume it. Yeah.
yeah, and then also is a kind of, yeah, it's fine not to duplicate, but there's a way to, like, for if because if it's someone Googled and then go there, and then we have a link and point them to microprofile.io for more information, etc. If we
Yeah.
purpose that just for someone want to become a corporate members and etc., I think that's fair enough. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna hit stop. Can you pull up the WordPress again, your draft? Because I think I am going to undo a lot of the comments I made. Unfortunately, this is still good, right? The banner is still good. This is still good.
We're just going to put, instead of having, do we want this in the call to action, or the one of the top three, the charter? Because so far we have become a member, join the discussion, and then we can have working group charter.
Become a member is good. Join the discussion.
I mean, we can do that too, but this would have to move down somewhere.
Yeah, I think we should use, given the switching context, go to the microprofile-working group at eclipse.org instead of the forum. Because I'm looking at the bottom, the very last slide that says join us on that slide deck I showed you. We point people to the MicroProfile working group and Eclipse. But I like the idea of having them come to the MicroProfile working group to kind of see what we do there to that alias. Okay, so if we think about the top again, it's, yeah, do we have the charter? And let me do a mental context switch here. Actually, let me do a physical one here and go to jakarta.ee again. Yeah, they have the about. Right, which is basically a combination of what's in our charter, that top level section, the vision and scope, and what's in the prospectus, right? So that's what the about would be. They have specifications, right, which link to the specifications section and join us. I don't know, let's see, let me go to microprofile.io. Again, I'm just trying to avoid duplicating. So if I go to your microprofile 3.3,
I think it's because this working group is kind of one sub page under microprofile.io. So you inherit all the kind of the top level, links and etc.
I think really, if it's a MicroProfile working group page, you just focus only on this. You add some links to, if that topic takes to dive deeper, wherever else on the page. But I like basing it off your slide deck because it goes through opportunities or benefits, key services, fees, who starts off with who we are, the whole upper, whole kind of overview of what's going on with it.
Right.
And then below, you can dive deep in those tabs for all these other things.
Yeah.
So does that sound like a better direction?
Yeah, I think so. So the question then is, well, Emily?
Yeah, you go ahead.
So the question then becomes, okay, or the comment is we have the banner, then below that we have the scrolling list. Below that.
But that's farther down, and we have below that on the top will be who we are on the banner, a couple call to actions. Then it will be benefits, key services, possibly, or membership fees, or whatever other sections. We can break up the sections a little bit. then somewhere maybe we break it up in between there with the quotes, and then below that is the dive deeper with all the tabs.
Okay. So if you want, I mean, you can copy and paste what's in that slide deck.
Okay.
And then we
I'll
can
cut it down, and then you guys can tweak the content, whatever way you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll cut down the content. I'll make these sections. Then I won't dive deep onto the tabs yet until we decide like exactly what we want to put in there after we see the content the way it is.
Right.
I'll add the content to the doc so we can edit it from those sections, because I'm going to cut it up myself, and we can adjust it whatever way we want. Then I just put it back in the right way. And then we go from there.
So can I clarify to see whether I understood you correctly? So can you scroll a little bit down?
Yes.
Yeah. So are you going to get rid of this tile, these layers?
No. So this will be just after some key information like who we are, benefits. Do you think key services is a good one to put in there?
Key services are provided by the Eclipse Foundation.
So I would try to keep it all on the page. So take it out then.
Yeah, I would probably take that one. I would take that out, and maybe what we do, I'm trying to think about this. We could provide a link to the prospectus.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. Somewhere.
But I mean, the main goal would be to get them to stay on the page for a while till they understand, and then decide where we want to drive them. And I think the main goal is to join. So if we really want to, for user experience, and want to get them to go where we want them, we need to give them a good, decent amount of information, and then or get them to join meetings so that they feel like they want to join.
Right.
So with all the information you mentioned, and then that's covered most of things on this link, on the what you are showing, right? All the kind of legal and budget and
dive deep on all the agreements, links, so they could really, if they like what they read above and they want to dive deeper, there's all the information here for them.
And then you could like in the probably we call it tile. So yeah, and then you add a link for more information. You add a link to directly point them here if they want more information. What's the kind of correlation? So what I'm trying to say is if this is a kind of legal, all these forms and etc. is directly the follow-on information from the previous tile. So basically you want to have a link from tile to here, right?
Well, I mean, this will still be on the same page. So they would just scroll. Are you saying we need to put a link that will take them down to this section?
So what I mean is after this quoted, after these quotes, you propose to add some like a budget and what you will get, and also the
like a more overview kind of card system that explains more in a simple, short way.
Right. So
and then if they want to know more about it, after following that will be more of the detailed links to all the information they want.
So yeah, so I just comment on the kind of how they know they can get more information.
Okay, so in each section we could do is learn more, and if they want to know more about benefits, I can link it so it takes them down to the right tab here.
Yeah.
That will have links to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Okay, yeah, we can do a call to action on each card that will take them to the section here that will have more information.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, okay. At least I hope I can. Hold on. Okay, great. Great. I think that's enough, I think, for the next draft. And then from there, we'll change everything again and do it again.
Well, sorry for pointing you down
So-
the wrong path at first. I just kind of had this realization that I was reinventing the top level page.
I mean, that's how the process normally works.
Yeah.
You gotta, chip away at it and go back and forth.
Yeah.
So it's no problem with me. This was a very useful meeting, so I appreciate it.
Good.
And
No-
then from there, I'll get, like I said, it'll pretty much be not filler text, but rough text. And if everyone likes the flow, then we can dive deep on the content, which won't be my expertise. So
Yeah, the other thing I thought I'd bring up, I was working on the
do work for you guys.
MicroProfile.
And then we clean it up and.
Sorry,
I
it said
can't
my
hear
internet.
John.
Yeah, my connection went bonky.
Okay.
That was weird. So I think I was talking over somebody because everything froze and I kept talking. So I mean, we're pretty much at the end of the call here. I wouldn't want to bring up any new major topics, but I started working on a new MicroProfile for slide deck, and I changed the approach a little bit. So at some point, I'll publish that. I was going to bring it up today, except I realized I don't have the right permissions. I'm not sure which account I created it under. So I have to go back and make sure that I've got it properly done. And then I'll post it out there and everyone can take a look at the MicroProfile 4 presentation.
Okay, sounds good. Do we have an estimated date when that's coming up? Because I want to make sure we're aligned for updating the website. Do a solid tweet. Did we lose John or did we lose me? Perfect.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Tomorrow we'll see what we have done for the config and to see whether people have any comments. By the way, I do have another kind of thought for this working group, which is kind of, I don't know, we need somewhere to log the compatible implementations as well, right? Even for the specs and etc. Maybe we can discuss further tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Put it on the, if you could put it on the meeting notes so
yeah,
we can get to it tomorrow. That'd be great.
Yeah. So it's need to host the even for the individual specs and etc.
Muted right now, so.
Yeah. Okay. Take care.
Thank you very much. I guess John will stop recording when he, he's saying bye. So thank you, everybody. The meeting's done, and see you all tomorrow on the, I guess, MicroProfile 4.0 or community call. I don't know what it's changed.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.